Get off your ass and do it. What are you hiding? What are you afraid of? Stop neglecting yourself. Get out of this relationship. Hey. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. How are you?
That's my dog. That's Oliver. Oliver, come here, baby. Hi, Adrian. Thank you for joining.
Well, thank you for having me.
I'm sorry. We just moved today. This is our first day in a new place, and he's having a really hard time. Oliver, come here. Come on, baby.
Oh.
So anyway, Adrian, thank you for coming and taking Rick's place for tonight. I really appreciate it.
No problem. It's not going to be as smooth as Rick does the stuff, but we're going to try. We're going to try.
That's all right. Tell me, how was your show earlier?
It was good. I wish I could have talked to the girls a little bit more, but they were great. They were great. They were two young actresses and on their way.
Nice. Very cool. Well, thank you for staying up to do this. I know it's late where you are at. I don't have my Wi-Fi connected. I'm using data. Oliver's first night, and you could hear him howling. That dog never howls unless he's really pushed over the edge. So we're gonna see how tonight flows. It could be kind of crazy.
It really could. It really could. So I'm going to apologize now to the audience for any thing you're not used to.
And I think there's a delay on both our ends. So we can, what do we want to jump into? We can jump into our pick a card now. Get started.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I wanted to talk a little bit before we get into our pick a card. You guys have been joining me on my journey of losing Daisy, and now Oliver. We rescued 2 years ago, and he's kind of damaged, So this losing Daisy was hard, and now making this move was hard. And so he's struggling. So you'll hear him in the background. But I think once we get our cat Lily over here and Bruce is back, I think he'll calm down. But I wanted to talk about, just have another conversation about grief, another kind of revelation, something I've been noticing on the journey. Grief is the most, we're the most honest. And we're the most vulnerable because when we are in the early stages of grieving, and for some of us, early stages of grieving can be the first year, the first 2 years, everyone's different. But it keeps us so honest, and we spend most of our lives sometimes not being honest, not because we don't mean to, but we're trying to cope. We're trying to manage our emotions. We're trying to, just get through, and so we tend to repress and do what we feel we need to do to get through and survive. But when you're grieving, you don't have that option. You are experiencing that grief, whether you want to or not. And that's hard for so many people, because I have so many conversations with other people, and they say, I just want to feel good again. I just want to move on. I just want, and they can't. As much as they try to, it's not time, and you can't, I remember when my nephew died, and so much of that I blocked out. Speaking of not being vulnerable and open, right? But the one moment I'll never forget is my sister, she's very pulled together. She's not an emotional person. Like, I'm much more emotional than she is. She's very, level-headed. And she collapsed in the hallway with grief. Her baby died, and there was this moment, that vision is just in my head for the rest of my life. And I think for many reasons, not for traumatic reasons, but because it was this incredibly honest, vulnerable moment that she couldn't escape. And I remember feeling that, especially with Daisy when she passed, because Daisy was the closest thing to a child. We were her caretaker, right? She was blind and deaf. And I remember when they were taking her body, and I thought that I was going to faint because I couldn't control the grief. And we want to control it, right? Like right now, I want to not cry talking about it. And there's moments where you can't control that. And I just found it so powerful when I couldn't control it. And when it was just keeping me so honest and real and present. You know, when you're in grief and when you're in, you know, what people refer to as being in shock when someone dies and finding out, or that first moment, I've always tended to question that word shock, because I feel like it just pulls you into the present, just pulls you into the present. And it pulls you into your body and out of anything else, right? What do I have to do tomorrow? Where am I going? What am I doing in an hour? And even though I know they have that clinical term as shock, and I don't disagree with that, there is something about how present you are, just pulled into that moment, and you cannot escape that moment. And I'm sure all of you have had experiences of when someone died and just remembering that moment when you found out, right? Or maybe remembering the moment when you were at their funeral, you know, and you so badly want to escape and you can't. And the fascinating thing about that is that it's actually just us being present. You know, on one hand, it's almost the simplicity of you're just finally present. You're not multitasking. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're just present. And the present is really painful. And so for those of you that are still grieving or experiencing it or whatever that is for you, keep those things in mind so that it doesn't overwhelm you. Okay, I'm present right now. And right now, this present moment feels overwhelming, but doesn't have to be if I just let myself go. Just let myself be in it, feel it, experience it. You know, it's very hard to find ways to distract from grief. You know, like, you know, if you're going through a breakup or something, even though that can be traumatic, but things that aren't as traumatic as death, we can distract ourselves, you know, like go out with our friends or watch a movie or whatever that is. We can distract ourselves, but you can't with grief. That's very honest, and it keeps us honest, right? It keeps us honest and it keeps us present. Those are two really powerful tools, to be honest and present. And I'm not saying that you should try to do anything when you're grieving other than just notice that, how present I am. And being present right now sucks because it's really sad, you know, and just being okay with that. So let's do our pick a card. Let me see what is in store for you guys. Let me get centered and pull you some cards. I'm thinking maybe not that deck. Let's see what this deck has. There's 1, 2. One of those is a daisy pick. We might just be doing 2 cards again tonight. I'm kind of feeling just 2. I'm going to try one more deck. And if not, we'll just go with the 2, which is easier for you guys, right? It's always easier to choose between 2 than 3. All right, let's do this. Now, one of these is Daisy's infamous card, so we're going to accept it for cute. So it's Daisy's deck. What are you going to do? All right. Sorry, I want to kind of mess with this. We're going to do this. Card 1, card 2, sorry. Card 1, card 2. I can barely see what's going on this card. I just happen to know this card really well. The Magician. This is Merlin the Magician. This is, for card 1, this is about manifesting. It's about making magic. literally and figuratively. You know, this is about, it's like I see you kind of basking in something you have created, something you're very proud of, something you have worked hard for, that time is coming, that time of feeling like I did it is coming. Now that might mean it's coming in a year. It might mean it's coming tomorrow, in 6 months. It's okay. So who all of you on card one, whatever you are working on, sitting in, you know, if it's a new project, but you know it's not going to be completed till next year or whatever, or in 2 years, that's going to be reached. And right now, there's a momentum and a creativity and a magic that is supporting this project. And if you have been thinking about starting something but haven't, now would be the time to do it. And it's not because later on it won't be magical, but sometimes planetarily, you know, planets align to create momentum, create the opportunity, right? And you know how there's an ebb and flow in life. Sometimes it's a time for you to sit back and just allow things to slowly unravel. And sometimes it's about doing and really asking and creating and pushing to a certain degree. And that's what this time is. This magician is about creating that magic, creating that that which you want, and seeing that through to fruition, and that it will be seen to fruition. And it will be successful. It may not look exactly as you planned it, but it will be successful. Card two. Oh, good. Thank you, Marissa. That's good. I'm glad to hear it hits home. Card two. Let's see. You've got. There's a part of you guys that is shielding yourself from the outside world, hiding behind something, hiding behind a fear that has been made up in your own mind that doesn't exist. And you might say, oh no, this fear exists because A, B, or C would happen. I don't know if A, B, or C would really happen. You have convinced yourself that that would happen so that you don't have to move forward. And for some of you, if that's not resonating, this shield is one that can be used as a form of retreat, a time of needing to retreat. And that retreat doesn't necessarily have to be going into your home, but retreating from a situation, a discussion, an argument, frustration at work. Retreating meaning just leave it alone for a minute. Just leave it alone. Okay. So wherever you're at with this shield, decide if you're using this shield as a way to hide. And if so, you aren't seeing the full picture of what you're hiding from. The picture is a little jaded because of your own opinions and experience. And for those of you that are using this shield because it's time to retreat, really embrace that. Even if the ego doesn't want to, even if you're really like, no, this is really important to me, the retreating is more important. Okay. All right. We've got Allison here for our paranormal case, which is going to be really interesting. Hi.
Hey.
We were just speaking of dogs.
Yeah.
Allison just rescued one. And so we've got all kinds of animal stuff going on here.
Yep.
But you've
and
got.
If you hear snoring in the background, that's the rescue. So
that is the best sound in the world, though.
Yeah.
When my husband snores, I want to hit him. But when my dog snores, forget it. That'll put me to sleep. Don't know why that is.
Yep. Yep. For me too. People snoring, nope. Dogs I could deal with.
I mean, anyway, tell us all about what's going on in this house.
So it started when I was really young. Probably as far as I can remember back was like preschool kind of time-ish. And I believed it might have followed us to the next house we moved into a few years later. We were living in Georgia. And my dad actually still lives up at that property. We've been in the second house since probably about 1992. And we've all experienced activity in the home over the years.
What's an example?
For the main thing that always concerned me was we would hear a voice. It was always when you're home alone. You'd hear it call up the stairs, and it always called my name. And I'm not the only one that's experienced it, so I know I'm not just hearing it. My dad's heard it, my sister's heard it, and it always comes from the same area of the home. It sounds like it's coming up the stairwell, like somebody's standing at the bottom of the stairs yelling up to you.
And they hear it call your name also?
Yes.
Oh.
And other just weird things happen in the house. You'll be working on a project, something disappears. 3 weeks later, it shows up in the middle of the counter when nobody had it. It just comes out of nowhere. We've had strange pictures, big white orbs where there's nothing behind you that could reflect, kind of just floating over you, like huge light anomalies in the pictures, not just like a tiny little orb. What else? I remember one time when I was a kid that was pretty memorable. I don't know if you remember those old music books that had the little keys at the bottom and you'd follow the color codes to play the song. I remember playing with it, and we put all my stuff away, went to dinner. I was walking back to my room and I heard it playing, and it was laying back in the middle of my bed. Like, and it was definitely put up on the shelf before bed or dinner time. So just weird things like that have always kind of happened in the house. And over the years, I think we just got used to it. We never felt threatened by it.
It didn't scare you?
I don't know. I think I've always been kind of sensitive to spirits since I was a kid, but no, never felt threatened by it. It kind of felt more like somebody hanging out at the house with you. I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, you'd be downstairs and you hear stuff moving around the kitchen, and you're just like, oh, it's whatever that is. Like, you don't even think twice about it because you're just so used to it for so many years.
Did you ever wonder why it called your name only?
That's why I wanted to see what you thought. That's why I'm very interested in what it is.
When you moved out, did that continue?
The activity?
The name calling specific.
Yeah, I believe my dad said he's heard it since. I only go up there to visit now because I live in South Florida now, but my dad and my sister are still up that way, so I go up to visit. I haven't heard it probably since I was young. Maybe 15 years was probably the last time I heard it, but he's there all the time. I'm pretty sure he said he's heard it.
Yeah.
More recent than that.
So for those of you that are new, I have photos that I'm looking at here that Allison sent me. And so give me just a minute to look through these.
Yeah, I try to send you ones of the most active areas of the home. I had my dad text me some of the places where we see and hear most of the activity.
Well, so I'm looking at this picture you sent that has the bike in the room.
Yeah.
And there's this doll. It looks like a doll of some sorts. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. You'll have to show me.
Hold on. Can you
I think that was something that it's like a paper thing that was made, I believe, by one of the kids.
There's something like it almost, it feels like it's attached. I don't know if it's attached as much as it's like bonded to it. I don't know. I'm going to get more info. Hold on. It's weird.
Yeah, I think that was an art project. I don't know if it was me or my niece or my nephew. I think it might have been them.
So this is a man. He wears a hat, like a farmer's hat, sort of. Allison was his wife, and that's why he called her name. It wasn't about you specifically, which is probably why you were never really scared. because he didn't feel a direct connection. But he has this connection to he has this connection to that doll for some reason. I can't figure out why. I don't know if his wife died there, but she died before him. And this was like probably right around when the house was just built. He definitely resides on the staircase a lot. Sometimes he sits there. He's really sad. He really, it's like he's looking for his wife. I'm going to try, his name is George, he says. I'm trying to talk to him to find out why he's still there. Why did you, like, your wife died, George. Why did you, he says, I thought that she would meet me here. I thought that we had talked about that and she would meet me here. They had a really strong connection to the house, but she didn't. What was her name? I don't know. I'm hearing like a J, maybe a Jane or something. But she didn't meet you there, George, because sometimes in the afterlife, it's not up to us on where we're going to go next. Sometimes there is 50-50, but sometimes there's work we have to do. And so it's wasn't for her to remain there. Also,
so he's attached to the home or to something inside the home?
The home. But yeah, he's attached to the home, but then that doll, he has some attachment to that, which I don't know what that is. I have to get to that. I also feel like, George, you're attached to the home, but I think it's time for you to leave and move on. She's not coming back to the home, and you staying there isn't going to bring her. He actually like wanders around and will sit at your kitchen table. He sits on the stairs. I'm going to see if I can get him to leave and pass over, just for his own sense of, some sort of, to have some sort of closure. I mean, how long is he going to remain stuck there for? He's not stuck. He's just choosing to be there. And Allison.
Well, that's kind of how we always felt, like he was just kind of hanging out. That's why we never kind of felt threatened by whatever was there.
But he needs, it's time for him to move on. Who's Jane? If your wife was Allison, because that's whose name you called, who's Jane? Oh, he called your name. He called your name. What his wife? He's saying my wife's name wasn't Allison. It was Jan or Jane. But I called your name. I have a connection to Allison. I felt safe. She heard me. Oh, she was the one in the family that could hear me. That's why. Okay. She could hear me. She could see me even. But, others hear, everyone else hears you too. Why Allison? He says, I don't know. He's just so like, I don't know. I'm just looking for my wife. Okay. So can we move him on, or do I just leave him here? Because it's kind of strange. Like, his wife's not going to meet him here. So what is that? Where does that leave him? Because your wife isn't coming, where do you want to stay here, or can we move you on? He says, move on to where? Well, I mean, get on with your existence. Move on to the next realm. It could maybe even bring you back in body, so you're not just sitting around this home. I really loved the feel of the family, the closeness. I really liked Allison. I liked her. She was open. She could hear me. She could see me. She was warm. And I just loved the way everyone was so together. Okay, but they're gone now. Oh, he likes your dad. Okay. I don't think he wants to go anywhere. Now we're going to start talking about your dad. Like, okay, I'm going to leave him. So, and I'm still a little confused on why he called your name. I mean, he was kind of explaining it, but it didn't totally make sense to me. If his wife's name, at first I thought he said his wife's name was Allison. That's why he did it. But then I said, what was her name? And her name was Jane. So I don't know. He's kind of all over the place. And he really has no desire to go anywhere else. I mean, okay.
Kind of felt that way. It's been going on for so long.
Yeah, he hangs with your dad, so they can hang out and drink beer. That's what he likes to do. So
kind of what he does. Yep.
So I'll just let him stay there and hang on and hang out. Any other questions about that?
No, I've always been curious what it was. I always thought it was something that followed us from the previous house in the next neighborhood over. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe I was just sensitive to something else there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's definitely that house. For sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So he never comes to my house down here. It's always, he stays that one, right?
Yeah, he's in that house. So whatever's going on in your other house, that's something else.
Well, now that I'm in Florida, I thought I've seen some black shadow figures in my house, but they just kind of pop up and blur by, and I don't even pay attention to it, so I don't know.
Because you're a seer, obviously, because you see, you're always going to see. Yeah. And it's really up to you to determine, am I supposed to do something with these beings, or am I okay with them just being here? And if you're okay with them just being there and they don't need or want to cross over, they're not, making sure they're not showing themselves to you for a specific reason, that's when you can see like that. That is the responsibility, is to be aware of them. And it's okay the goal is to be neutral to them, but it's up to you. If you don't want them in your space, then they shouldn't be in your space. And or if they need help, then we help,
Yeah, it's never really bothered me. Like, I actually went to a medium recently, and she's like, you should be doing what I do. She's like,
you see that well.
I don't know. She told me to meditate and do Reiki and all this other stuff.
She sounds like me.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that is what you should do. I agree with her. It's your super sense, so you can develop it. I mean, it's already developed, so it's a matter of if you want to do more with it or not,
Yeah, I did start doing the meditation stuff, and I've actually slept way better since that, but...
Do you hear that, everybody? Someone followed my advice. It wasn't even my advice. It was another medium's advice, but I'll take it.
No, I love it. I actually downloaded an Insight Timer app, and it's got tons of great meditations on there. It's
awesome. Good.
Yeah.
Now, do you do
I'm sorry.
I was just saying, do you meditate in the morning or at night?
At night before bed.
Okay. That's awesome.
It helps me sleep through the night better.
Great.
Like, I was having a weird time, like for almost a year. I was waking up random times all throughout the night. And then once I started doing that, I just started sleeping like full nights.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're being guided to make these changes anyway. So that's good. Well, thank you for sharing your story. Congratulations on your new rescue. Thanks. And we could do a pet reading if you want. I would always love to read your animals, anyone's animals.
I would love that.
All right, cool. We'll do that next few weeks.
Okay, cool. Let me know.
Okay, thanks, Allison.
All right, have fun in your new house and with the new puppy. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
have readings? We're kind of zipping through pretty quick. So if we see what we got.
We do. Let's see. Let's go back here.
We got time, so take your
Rick,
time.
I am so sorry. You're so much better at this.
Are you kidding? You've been doing great.
Let's
That's kind of,
see.
yeah, take your time, because that can kind of
cards.
be a hard one.
Okay.
Okay. I need to know if moving to Central City, is that Kentucky, is the right move for me? Loretta. Okay.
Mhm.
Loretta. Let's see. Yes, but why are you angry? I feel like you're angry about something. Someone. Is it about this move? You need to move. You need to move. I'm not feeling anything necessarily bad about this move, but it's time for you to move. I'm picking up more so on some anger you're carrying, maybe resentment, that's going to follow you, you know? I mean, I just moved, as I mentioned earlier, and it is really amazing and hard to let go of the old and start new, but your shit follows you, you know? So work on that anger, find out what anger you're holding on to. If it's not obvious to you, make that move. But I feel like I need to say, you, anywhere you go, there you are, you know? And I'm not saying that you're running from yourself by any means, but they're really wanting you to be aware of that emotion that you're harboring and to just address it. But the move feels fine. It's time for you to move. So that's good. Need to know if I should follow my logic or my heart in the situation I'm dealing with. Well, I might need a little bit more information, Allison, but hang on, just because that's depends on the situation. You know, I mean, if your logic is sometimes really important. Let me see, Allison. Allison, do me a favor. Give me a little bit more information in the chat there if we're able to find it. I need a little bit more information to answer that. Thank you, Nicole. Nicole just texted me. That was sweet. Hi, Susan. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. Okay. First of all, I'm just going to stop with the first question. Rescue another dog, yes, but not sure. My Booker, my 7-year-old dog, would like sharing me. Ah, twist. Let's see. Susan. Okay, I would recommend a small. Is it possible to be smaller than Booker? I'm not sure how big Booker is, but they're showing me a small dog will be easier for Booker to adjust to, and younger. And making sure that you know the usual, that Booker's routine doesn't change. He gets, I'm assuming he receives treats first. He gets, that showing that he's the one in charge, he gets his leash put on first, all those things, so that Booker understands that this dog isn't going to come in and take over, that he is, his life isn't going to change drastically, and sharing you isn't going to be painful because he's being shown that he's still top dog. But with those conditions, I'm feeling like he is fine with it. But again, they're stressing a smaller dog. Again, I don't know how small Booker is. So if Booker's already small, then small like him. But if he's not small, if he's like medium, they're saying even smaller than that. For whatever reason, he's saying he'll respond better to that. And I need to see pictures of this dog when you rescue. Kathy, my daughter Jennifer. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kathy. My daughter Jennifer passed away on February 15th. Any messages, please? Kathy. Let's see. If I don't get anything, do you mind putting her picture back up if you have it there? I'm going to see if I can see. Otherwise, I might have you email me and I can answer it next week. Thank you. She's saying I'm not passing over until things like quiet and calm down. She's saying that she's saying she's sorry. I'm not sure why. But she plans on being very close and connected. So when you think you feel her, you are. When you think you see her or hear her, you are. She's staying very, very, very close to help assimilate. Keep in mind when we go through this, energetically, we go through a reconfiguring when someone dies that we're close to, right? We go through this reconfiguring of the energy. The energy is now changed, and there's this void that has been left energetically, right? And so for us, our grief and our shedding, which happens through tears, and sometimes if the body becomes really sick from grief, we are reconfiguring to the void that now lives there. And I don't necessarily the word void is kind of empty, but that's the truth, right? This being, and let's not talking about their physical presence. I'm talking about the energy that they carried is now gone in this realm, right? And so you feel that void. And so your energy has to reconfigure to adjust to that, her energy no longer being there, okay? While we go through this reconfiguring, our loved ones tend to stay close to help us do that. And that way you can feel her presence, feel her energy as you reconfigure and you rebirth into who you are supposed to be now and what life is supposed to feel like for you. She's very close. She's staying there. For some reason, she's saying, I'm sorry. I don't really have clarity on why, but that she says, I'm not going anywhere until things calm down, until things settle, until everyone, you especially, feel more comfortable with the change. Okay? I hope that helps. Oh, okay. Hi, Allison. It's in regards to your love life. Not sure if I'm making the right choice. Okay. Okay, that helps. Let me see. I'm wanting to, when it comes to love, the last thing you want to do is be logical, obviously, right? But let me talk to you about what we do with love. What we think is a connection, but it can, sometimes we continue this karmic pattern, right? And we're basically with the same person. They just have a different face, whether that's dad issues, whether it's mom issues, past life issues. And so a lot of times we think love is love when it's not love. It's this karmic pattern you don't know how to get out of because you keep falling in love with the same person. Now, when you take a logical approach to love, which is what I did in a sense, 19 years ago when I met Bruce, was I said, you know what? I am going to go out with someone who treats me different and where I don't feel that immediate hook, because that immediate hook was karmic for me every time. Same outcome. And so I took a logical approach and I said, I'm going to wait until I meet someone who treats me the way I want to be treated, who offers me things tangibly, and then see what that looks like and feels like. And I did that. And within about 30 days, it's like I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I'm so in love with this person. And then I had the love and the warmth and the connection. And it was kind of confusing to me because it was a different way to fall in love. But I took that logical approach because I was trying to break that karmic cycle. And it worked. And I always recommend it. I always share that story and share that truth with men and women who struggle with finding a good partner. Now, where I don't agree with logic is if it's like, well, it makes financial sense. I've known him for so long. Why not? Or, then no. But I know you don't want let's see. You want to know what the cards have to say. I'm trying to find the right deck. I'm shuffling while I'm talking. Hang on. It's coming. I'm leaning toward, hold on. I was going to say I'm leaning towards heart, but these cards might be telling me something different. Hang on. You know what, Allison? I cannot make a call on this. You'll have to email me a picture of you and a picture of the person, and then I can easily tell you. Okay, I'm not getting a clear answer, but maybe that insight I offered helped. If not, send me a picture of you and your mate, and I can tell you that way. Donna, any messages from my husband? Okay, leave her picture up if you don't mind. Sorry, guys. I listen, we moved today. Glasses, I have no idea where those would possibly be. I'm not very organized when it comes to moving. No laughing, Mom, because she knows. Any messages from my husband, JT? Why, like, for some reason I'm seeing like a pipe or a cigar or something. He's just sitting back like he's interesting. It's like I almost feel like he's in a recliner. He's sitting back, he's super relaxed, and he's just watching over you. He's unlike earlier when I felt the other question, her daughter really close. Your husband JT has moved through the realms and is watching over. So he is a guide for you now. What do you want to say though, JT? Is there anything you want to say to Donna? He's saying, Donna, that I am now your guide. And so our communication will feel different. And I'm a little different now that I'm out of body, but ask when you need help. That's what I'm here for. I'm watching over to be of support and for you to feel protected. But ultimately, it's really important, he's saying, that you move on. He wants you to find a group of friends if you don't already have one, or maybe it's a different group of friends to bond with. Like, he's like saying almost like go out, do things, have a stronger social network. Danielle. I know Danielle. Danielle, yes. Let's schedule it because I need to see that little face to be able to read. Yeah, text me or email me, and we'll have you on in the next week or so, and we'll do Allison too. Loretta. I'm not sure. Is that to do with that? Is that a question? Hello? I'm not sure what to do with that statement. Is that someone that I read earlier, and I don't remember? Any messages from my mom, Margie, Jennifer, Oliver, please. Nobody wants to hear that, baby. Jennifer, I'm sorry. I know I've been able to connect with everyone else. For some reason, I'm not connecting with Margie. Email me and send me a picture of her, and I'll do it next week. Okay. Yes, Allison. Yeah, we talked to Allison. Allison, email me. But that's the one where I want to see a picture of her and her guy. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Stacy. Okay, do you see a timeline of when I might be moving back into my other home that I own? Let's see which deck. Oh, my poor baby. Having such a hard time. Okay, Stacy. August. There. I mean, that's what was just yelled at me. And I'm not sure why they yelled at me, but your guys yelled it at me. August. I always, though, tend to like backpedal on timelines because so much could change that's out of my control, but that's where well, she called me beautiful, so now I'm definitely going to read her. Hi. Any messages from my brother-in-law, Andrew Alexander, please? Gosh, tonight is a lost loved ones night, isn't it? Let's see. Andrew, my brother-in-law, Andrew Alexander. Ooh. Andrew is saying he feels like he died young. Is there like something that needs to be worked out about something or him or how he passed or something? He's staying close because there's stuff that needs to be worked out. I'm not sure what that means, but he's really close. He's close with the family, similar to what we talked about earlier. He hasn't like passed through realms. He's just staying close, and working closely with family. Like there feels like there's something being worked out or that needs to be worked out or understood. And so he's feeling kind of anxious for some reason. Is there something specific going on? It's making him feel kind of anxious about, did he have a young child or there's an anxiousness to him that I can't pinpoint without more information. Melissa, any message from my mother? Did she commit suicide when I found? Oh, Melissa, you guys got some doozy of a questions tonight. Let me see if you could leave her picture up. I want to see if I can get information. To be fair, Melissa, I don't want to make a call like that if I don't get the information super clear. So I may ask me a picture of your mom so that I can be specific. I don't want to mislead. That's a big question, and I don't want to mislead you on that. Okay. So why don't you email me? I don't want to get any mixed messages. Marissa, my grandpa passed away in August. Has he been able to move on, or does he have any messages for our family? Marissa. He's moved on. For the most part, he is very much at peace and very much settled. And he's giving me this sense that he's proud of the family, proud of, it's like, did you guys just come through a kind of a traumatic or like tough time? Maybe there is some fighting or something, but you're coming out the other side. He's saying something like proud of the way things are unfolding, turning out. But he's definitely moved through realms and is high up, and he may be coming back through body soon, is what I feel. Terry. Terry, for sure, send me. I'm so sorry for your loss, Terry. For sure, email me a photo of your son, and you, so I can read that more honestly.
Right.
Did we
Looks
knock him
like we
out?
got through the question. Yay.
Okay, good. Thank you again, Adrian, for sticking around. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. That Kathy, I don't want to butcher her last name, Gustina.
Yeah, I know.
That was, she said a very, very heartfelt thank you in the comments there. You could feel how much you helped her there.
Oh, good. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for that. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
if we're good. If we're good, we can close out early. You can go to bed early and get ready for work because you've had a long night going live.
Yeah. It's okay, there we go. Yeah, it's been fun though. I wouldn't trade this experience for anything.
Thank you for joining. I appreciate it, Adrian. And you guys go check out Adrian's show 2 hours before me.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. All right. And
Yeah.
anyone,
The Petri dish.
It's called the Petri dish. Oh yeah, it's with Howard.
Yes.
Yes. If I missed your questions, you can email me. And for those of you that I asked for pictures, go ahead and send photos and we'll check in next week.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Bye, everybody.